Right, 22 October 2025, and today I'm excited to be giving you the morning update and trending news for Africa and Zimbabwe. And we're going to be focusing on what is going to happen today, a very busy day. And I'll be back here a little bit earlier as Mnangagwa is set to officiate at the Zimbabwe National Youth Empowerment Symposium. So that is going to take place at the Harare Agricultural Show this morning. So that is the key event for today. And then we obviously have a big day today, and that is to do with the attack on Chiwenga. So the attack on Chiwenga is going to take place today at around 6 p.m. as Temba Mliswa has made an announcement and is going to appear on the Violet Gonda YouTube channel. This is a pre-recorded sort of premiere where Temba Mliswa is going in depth, explaining and attacking Chiwenga. So it's going to happen today at 6, and you can see here that she's already advertised it on X.
I still think for the purposes of Kuda and others, they must be able to even go to Zach and police and say, the vice president is an informer. He talked this about us. We are prepared to be investigated. And I think it's something that I think will make our country better. At the same time, the vice president too must be able to answer to the allegations of him benefiting from them and from corrupt deals and from being the godfather of the Chinese companies in Zimbabwe.
Okay, so you can see that this is not going to end before Chiwenga drops. So this won't end until Chiwenga has dropped. They're not going to allow Chiwenga to stay in government. I can assure you that Chiwenga is going to be out of the Zimbabwe government very, very soon. There's no way that they will allow Chiwenga to stay here because he is seen as a big threat. And today's revelations by Temba Mliswa are going to be explosive. We're going to be watching what he's going to say. And you can also see that there's an attack on Mini that is going to be coming. It won't end. This thing is not going to end. Mnangagwa and Chiwenga, they are not going to be together at all. These two are fighting each other, and that is how it is. So let's watch at 6 p.m. what happens. It's very important to understand the dynamics of what is going on over there. And then secondly, we've got a big revelation that has happened. So the Breaking Barriers Initiative document has now been leaked. So the document called the Breaking Barriers Initiative is now available, and I'm going to unpack it for you today at around 12. I'm going to be unpacking for you the document. It's now been released. The 24-page document is now available. And then let's look at other stories quickly before we go to the newspapers. In business, we have one of the biggest stories in Southern Africa, and this is the sale of Coca-Cola Bottlers Africa. So the man you're looking at here is Philip Guche. This is the biggest owner of the stake of Coca-Cola Bottlers Africa. They own the biggest share, and they've sold their stake to Coca-Cola, which was so that is Coca-Cola CG. So let me get this right. Coca-Cola CG H, which is listed on the London Stock Exchange. They've sold their stake in exchange for shares and about $308 million. So what is going to happen is that Coca-Cola is going to, so that is Coca-Cola CCH, who acquire 75% in CCBA for $2.6 billion. After they acquire this money, this percentage of Coca-Cola Bottles Africa, they are then going to list on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And all this is going to take place within the next 12 months. So by the end of 2026, Coca-Cola Africa, Bottlers Africa will be bought by Coca-Cola CCH, which currently has the biggest market in Russia. So they want to reduce their exposure to Russia. And then they will have a secondary listing on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. This will be one of the biggest listings that is going to take place, or secondary listings on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. And this family is obviously going to be moving out regarding what I said this week, that there's a lot of changes taking place on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange, as there's no actual manufacturing taking place in Africa. What is happening is that people in South Africa are starting to speculate more, and those people that have got money are reducing their exposure to South Africa, the South African market, and other people are coming in and buying up companies and listing on the Johannesburg Stock Exchange. There's a lot taking place over there. So look forward to this. This deal has already been announced, and it's a big headline in the business day of today. Then what else do we have? Let's look at other things here. The South African matrics. So that is the National High School examination started yesterday with 16,000 students writing their first paper. So the first paper has been written. And then we've shared yesterday the picture of Elizabeth Tsvangirai in Kenya. So very interesting. We shared a video of her speaking to media in Kenya. You can go and check it out on Gambakwe.com. Then as usual, we are following the object that is moving towards the earth. So yesterday I did not explain that this object has been moving towards the earth for a long time, since July, and people believe that it could be some sort of electronic equipment. People think it's a comet, but it could also be an electronic piece of equipment. So it's being watched very closely. I think it's called the 3AL Atlas. So many people watching. To those people who like the end of the world, 29 October, that is the day when this is going to be closest to the earth. But it's not coming to the earth, it's just close to the earth. I think it started off with 75 million kilometers, and at that time it's going to be 7 million kilometers from the earth. So it's going to be nearest to the earth on that day. So you can be following it. Very interesting stuff taking place around the earth. I think I've covered most of the top stories. Let's go to H Metro newspaper. A very sad story of a whole family wiped out at the accident that took place in Limpopo. So that is Livion Maidza. That is according to the H Metro newspaper. This family all perished in that accident. They were visiting home for the first time. So you can go and check it out in H Metro newspaper. Also in H Metro newspaper, a serial robber who was terrorizing Borrowdale and Mt Pleasant areas has been sentenced to 100 years in jail yesterday after he broke into 25 homes, and he was also some sort of rapist. So this has happened in Zimbabwe. If you live in Borrowdale and all those areas, and you don't have a camera, and you don't have electric fence, you're in a lot of trouble because there's basically, the police in Zimbabwe don't have capacity. If you are robbed in Zimbabwe, don't think police are going to come to you and stop a thief. You have to have private security. You have to have your own way of protecting yourself. So don't rely on the police. That is not a way of protecting yourself. So 25 people robbed, 19 break-ins, and then some rapes that took place over there at Mt Pleasant and the Borrowdale area. So the man was using many multiple names, and you can go and check out that story in the H Metro newspaper. So let's quickly look at the Herald, and then, as I said, I'll be here within the next few hours as Mnangagwa is set to open the National Youth Empowerment Symposium. Right, the IMF gives Zimbabwe prudent monetary policy a thumbs up. I will go and look at what they've said. I don't believe in anything that the government of Zimbabwe says about IMF. And then President to headlines SADC and Sanctions Day. This will be on Saturday. Mnangagwa is going to give a national speech or a televised speech on 25, which is Saturday. And then, Saturday. And then he's going to send letters to all embassies where Zimbabwe is, asking for support. I thought the sanctions were over, so I don't understand why they're still talking about Anti-Sanctions Day. Then the Algerian ambassador has paid a courtesy call on Auxilia Mnangagwa after he visits earlier this year to Algeria. And then let me see, is there anything else that we can look at here? I like pictures. Let's look at the picture. Harad acting town clerk, engineer Pakamile Mabena, and his team before being briefed by engineer Amos Kapenzi during the tour of Geopomona Waste Management in Harare yesterday. So that is Geopomona, very controversial Geopomona. And then enforcement of the provisions of Statutory Instrument 56 issued in terms of the Architect Act, submission of building plans by a registered architect and other registered professionals. I'm going to put this on Gambakwe and I will do a post so that you understand what's going on with the architects. And then we've got by-elections notices. That is Gutu, Chimanimani, and Mangwe. We're going to give you an announcement on Friday regarding by-elections, how we're going to proceed. So I'm going to be giving you an update on that. So I don't have to read the whole newspaper. I think that is what I wanted to look at in the Herald newspaper. Let's see if there's anything else of interest in the sports section and see if let's see what these guys are dancing here. So Dancing Queens, Zimbabwe's Gems will be hoping they'll overcome Malawi and have fun on the court. Right, let's go to the Chronicle newspaper. Chronicle newspaper is the Bulawayo version of the Herald. Normally a much smaller newspaper. So that's Chronicle Zimbabwe. And in this one, we've got President approves pay rise for lecturers. Finally, it has happened. Let's see how much they're getting now. The government is taking steps to improve the welfare of university lecturers and staff. So I'm looking for the actual amount here. And unfortunately, I haven't had time to go through into detail with this story, so I cannot see the amount. So I'll let you guys know with the amount later on the website. You can always check on our Facebook. We share all our stories over there. And then Wange Unit 8 fault disrupts steady electricity supply. There's massive power cuts in Zimbabwe right now because of that fault. And then let's see, Caledonia does out 10 million towards CSR. So gold is doing very well, and Caledonia is giving out a lot of money. So gold has done so well. It has never done as well as it is doing right now. That is why you can see all these things happening. Buying of cars, buying of computers. It's all over. Gold is doing very, very well, and it's going to do well again. It's going to continue doing well. Gold is going to do well because of the instability that is taking place in the financial markets. And then CBZ has declared a dividend. Tagwirei is going to make a lot of money. So the dividend declared here is 2.5 million US dollars. So most of this money is going to go to Tagwirei, who is a big shareholder in CBZ. Then let's go to the Star newspaper of South Africa. The Star newspaper of South Africa is leading with a story of nowhere to hide from Tulu. So there is a commission currently going on, a parliamentary investigation, and it's getting worse and worse for the suspended police minister of South Africa. This thing is live, so you can go and watch it live. President Ramaphosa has been very busy. He has been opening a plant yesterday, a water plant. You can also go and check it out. And then this story here is disrupting travel in South Africa. So there's something called the airport instrument procedures, and it's disrupting flights as this equipment is failing since the beginning of the year. Then SA entering a low inflation era as Treasury formalizes lower target. So the reason why they're doing this is because there's nothing happening in the economy. Interest rates are very high. The actual way that banks are lending is different from what is happening on paper. So South Africa looks like it's got low interest rates, but it actually has high interest rates because the banks have got their own way of lending. So there's a fight between Treasury and the Reserve Bank, with the Reserve Bank wanting to formalize a lower interest rate, but that process not agreed with Treasury. So a fight between the Reserve Bank and Treasury. So now let's look at Zambia, my second home, my most favorite home, and then we'll go to our people. So in Zambia, church urged to cancel HH. So there is a story here about church being asked to cancel HH. I don't know what it is about. It says, Harika Lava says, there is an atmosphere of political social unease in the country caused on the three church mother bodies to warn the president against the folly of the country, of governing the country by his whims. Okay, I don't know what that's about, but let's go to Facebook and we're going to look at President Hakainde Hichilema. We're going to start with him and see what he said. I hate people that I join on Facebook and then they start posting reels that are not so good. So every time I open my Facebook, I have to watch some crazy things. Right, our industrial revolution is taking shape. This morning, we commissioned Trade Kings Group, Zambia's first ever glucose and starch manufacturing plant in Lusaka facility, multi-facility economic zone. So that is amazing. If you look here, President Hakainde Hichilema is opening something new almost every day. Look at that. This plant is very interesting. And I don't see a lot of people in the actual plant. So it's very automated. From what I can see here, there is not many people in the plant. A few years ago, I went to Austria. When I arrived there, there was a huge plant of a company, and there was no person on the plant. Like literally, you go into the plant, the only person that is there is the one operating the computer. And it's huge. It's like a huge, huge plant. So I guess that is what is happening. If you look at the one that President Hakainde Hichilema is showing here, it's got very few people on it. So very, very interesting to watch. I call this automation that is taking place. You can see that in this plant, there's almost 5 or 6 people. Long back, you would see hundreds and hundreds of people in such a plant. But all the same, it is an investment in Lusaka. And then let's go to President Maboko, who is currently traveling to Oman, UAE, and also Switzerland.
اطلع فخامة الرئيس دوما جدون بوكو رئيس جمهورية بوتسوانا على الفرص الاستثمارية خلال زيارته.
Okay, so that was very interesting. You can go and check it out. I don't know, I haven't seen pictures from him. So as soon as I get the pictures, normally I go to BW Presidency. They share pictures there because he can't take pictures himself when he's traveling. So let's see what he's got here on BW Presidency. So today I don't see any pictures of him traveling on his travel. So I don't know which country he is, if he's in UAE or if he's in still in Oman. Then let's look at Minnie. What is Minnie saying today? So she's sharing some pictures. This appears to be some sort of career guidance here. So let's see the post, what it says. Okay, Tsvangirai is a primary school. Today we had a career day and almost all the professions were represented. Thanks to Gift Mzadzi for spending the day with the kids. Much appreciated. So let's see if there's anything in IT here. So these are doctors and nurses. These are soccer players. These are, well, radiographers. These are the rest of the people. These are models. Yes. And this is a teacher. You see it in Lega Puku and tie. And then obviously these are the parents over here. Very interesting. Go check it out on Mini's page. Mnangagwa getting ready to destroy her. It's going to happen very, very soon. And then let's see Madam Boss, one of my favorite people. Look at that car. Ndini ndinaye mukomana ndiri mu Bentley na Avalon Trading. Is that a Bentley? Yes, that's a Bentley. Guys, this is amazing. Look at that car. So I don't know what this company does. Go and check it out. I've never seen a Bentley. I've never even seen it myself. I've only heard about it. So it seems like this young man, Ngoni Mliswa, is being asked to give a kiss over here. Go check it out. Very interesting couple, this one. And Ngoni seems to be working out. Do you see that? He has finally decided to work out. And then let's look at other people. Who else have I missed here? Chido Sanyatwe. Chido Sanyatwe. Very interesting person to me. Let's see what she did today. I know that they are planning to run in 2028. So they're going to run. The prestigious Legacy Empowerment Awards return for the 5th edition, set to take place at the ZANU-PF headquarters. And that is going to be so very interesting to see this. Vision 2030 attended by invitation. 22 November. So today, at what time is this? 1 o'clock. The Mnangagwa is going to be announcing here after he does the National Youth Empowerment Symposium. So we're set to see Mnangagwa twice today. That is in the morning and at 1. And that is by invitation. Let's see if Chiwenga is going to feature here, because it's very interesting what is going to happen today. What Temba Mliswa is doing is showing me that there is a plan behind the scenes by Mnangagwa. He doesn't want Chiwenga to be around. Hence, we're going to see Temba Mliswa coming out and attacking Chiwenga. That means they're not done. They're still busy. Okay, and then let's go to someone else. Fadzai is saying today, Jonathan Moore is advising to ban voting in 2028, possibly beyond 2021. He tweeted that Zimbabwe would change leaders by voting, as it transpired in Zambia, Malawi, and other states. Okay, he tweeted that Zimbabwe could change leaders by voting, as has transpired in Zimbabwe, in Zambia, Malawi, and other states. So I'm going to look at this document for you. When I heard people talking about it and Chiwenga talking about it, and what I've seen, it's not the same. So I'm going to unpack this document for you. It's 24 pages. Just give me until midday, and then we'll unpack the Breaking Barriers Initiative document. I've got it right now in front of me. And if you want to look at it right now, you can go to Lynn on X. She's got the full document there. You can go and check it out. But I'll give you my interpretation myself around, let's say, 1 or somewhere there before 1 o'clock. I'll give it to you. Then let's look at Chamisa. Homeboy Wangu, Chamisa. He's been attacked very badly yesterday by other people on his platforms. But I don't think people should attack Chamisa. Chamisa is not the problem. Chamisa is just not launching. So don't think Chamisa is going to launch. We need to make a plan. We've got very good leaders, and you don't need to keep looking at Chamisa. He's not the alpha and the omega. He's not the alpha and the omega. Then let's see Sanyatwe, and then we'll go to First Lady and we're out. Sanyatwe didn't post anything since that time we talked. And then let's see who else we haven't covered. Let's look at First Lady of Zimbabwe, Oxley Mnangagwa. She's not posted anything since the last post that we saw last week. So I'm quite happy because there's now clarity on what is going on. So let me tell you what the clarity is. The clarity we have is that Chiwenga will not be allowed to disrupt ED 2030. So the process of taking him out is not stopped. And if you look at what Temba Mliswa is saying, he's saying Chiwenga is corrupt is the godfather of the Chinese, and Tagwirei should report him to ZAC for all what that is done. So we might actually see Chiwenga being reported to ZAC for something. But he says he's got 2 episodes. That is episode 2 and episode 3 coming. If episode 2 and episode 3 were strong, I don't think Mliswa was going to be going around making all the noise that he's doing. So it means they're waiting for something. So what I'm seeing is that they're waiting for something. They've given the first blow, which is to say, Chiwenga got money from Wikino. Very bad revelation. So now we are waiting for the second and the third. And I hope that today at 6, we're going to get something when Violet Gonda actually issues or premieres that YouTube video, which we are expecting, and parts of which we've seen. And you can clearly see that Chiwenga has been very badly weakened by what happened in Mutare. It is clear that there's no way out for him except to take the military route, which I don't think is available to him. And you can see that there are now moves to remove him. So there are moves to remove Chiwenga, and those moves are starting. Not today, but already yesterday we've seen all the suggestions about taking him to China or taking him to Russia. And now we're going to see another proposal to take him to ZAC, to report him for fraud and corruption, all those kind of things that are being said by Temba Mliswa. So 6 o'clock today, we're going to be seeing on Violet Gonda YouTube channel, Temba Mliswa speaking. When he speaks on behalf of Mnangagwa. So everything that he's saying here, he speaks on behalf of Mnangagwa and Tagwirei. And he says that Chiwenga has been crushed. So that is what he says. So go to Violet Gonda X, you'll be able to see that short video or a teaser that they've put out. And as I said, Chiwenga is going to be removed one way or the other. Then let's see the comments. 23rd in there, Emerson. Mkoma Moyo, 23rd in there, Emerson. Yes, Emerson is going down in history as someone that has destroyed his own legacy. Emerson. Comment on Joy Charamba's latest tweet. Joy Charamba, to me, I don't take him seriously. Honestly, I don't want to lie to you. Have you ever seen me talking about someone at that level? So when I make a video, it's presidential level, because I don't have time for politics of someone that cannot influence events. Do you think Charamba can influence events in ZANU-PF? Do you think, for example, let's take Nick Mangwana, can he influence events in ZANU-PF? So those guys are not influential. Temba Mliswa is influential. That is why you see that everyone is watching. Chamisa is influential. That is why you see that everyone is watching. Gambakwe is influential. Tagwirei is influential. So those are the people that you actually talk about. You don't talk about Joe Charamba. Joe Charamba is, or he's supposed to be an administrative person, someone that writes speeches, someone that does what is told, not someone who makes a policy, someone who does controversial stuff. I don't expect them to be there. So even if he tweets, it's actually wasting his time. And then, do you mean Chiwenga can't do anything? He will live, can't do anything, he will live peacefully. Yes, Chiwenga right now has got no possible way out. So let me explain. Chiwenga is working for Mnangagwa. He's the vice president. And I've said this way many times in the past. You cannot be president from the vice president position. So what Chiwenga is trying to do is to remove himself from under Mnangagwa. But unfortunately, the problem is he still needs the support of ZANU-PF to become a president. And what Mnangagwa is doing is to say, I don't want you to become the next president. I want my chosen successor, who is Tagwirei, to become the president. That is the fight. Mnangagwa's term is over. You can see we're now in 2026. Mnangagwa has got less than, let's say, 1,500 days in office, and they are not even pretending to make Chiwenga a successor. So the next move after today at 6, you will see how big this is going to be. There's going to be some big revelations, and then there will be continuous fighting. And then people won't see Chiwenga as the next president. They will see other people, or there will be a list of people who can be president after Chiwenga, after Mnangagwa, not Chiwenga. Chiwenga is not being considered. So he has to find another way. And what people have said is that he's probably going to deal with Chamisa. That is the worst thing that he can ever do. Chamisa is not going to be a player in 2028. Chamisa is not making any moves. And you can see with the attacks that Chamisa is getting. Go to the platforms right now of CC and opposition. It's getting so attacked, and it's bad. I've got multiple audios of people saying, where is Chamisa? What's your plan? Why are you quiet? The reason being, people don't have a leader as yet who can represent, who can take over from Chamisa. But as soon as a coalition is in place, people are going to forget about Chamisa, and he's going to find it difficult to do anything. Chamisa is not ready. Chamisa must mobilize. Zan is getting weak. No, Chamisa cannot do anything. Gambakwe is influential. Yes, you're going to see in 2028, Gambakwe will be very, very strong. Our manifesto is very strong. There is no person with the manifesto like this. Amazing manifesto. We're going to do so well. And everything has changed. Everything you knew in the past has changed. All right, let's go to our sponsor, Mve. So we have now got the new tree. And what I'm going to do is, for the guys in the UK, I'm going to start sending to you the new tree. So this is our new tree. You remember, we used to have this packet. We used to have the bigger packet. So that was the tree from Zimbabwe. And now I've asked our other supplier to provide us with this new packet. So that is a smaller packet of 100 grams. But for the UK guys, I'm going to give you 2 of those, and at the same price. So you're going to get a big, big advantage from us. That is, this tree is much stronger. Very, very strong. So UK guys, WhatsApp me, and musatongwe nema salad atidi vanotongwa nema salad. So I find it very interesting, because once I take Mve, let's say I'm extremely tired and I want to sleep. So you know that I wake until like almost 11 p.m. and then I wake up at 2. So I sleep 12, 1, 2, 3 hours, and I'm able to function because this, besides the other benefits, Mve is extremely energy giving. So you won't sleep. Let's say you're a driver and you're driving from Cape Town to Johannesburg. What you do is you don't take your Mve when you're coming from Cape Town. So let's say around 10, when you're now feeling tired, you have a coffee and you just put a spoon there. You'll be awake for the next 4 hours. It's very powerful herb, and especially for the guys who are in 24-hour work, guys that need to lift stuff. If you want to go to a workout, if you put a spoon in your coffee, you can run, you can do all sorts of things. So this is an amazing herb, and you'll be one guy who is as strong as an ox. Strong as an ox. All right, let's see if there's any other comments, and then I'm out. New tree. Yes, this is the new tree. Mkoma James. If you are not taking the you're shortchanging Manawe Mundu. All right, I would like to thank all of you for watching. So we'll be back here to watch Mnangagwa's speech, and then we'll watch another speech by Mnangagwa at 1, and then we're going to see Temba Mliswa. Everyone is waiting for this. Temba Mliswa is one of the people that speak and people listen. So don't listen to people say, when Temba Mliswa is speaking, I don't listen. You must listen very carefully and see what he's going to say about Chiwenga today. Very, very important day today. We are watching the removal of Chiwenga. This is the period that we've entered. The removal of Chiwenga has started. They don't want Chiwenga. They are trying to marinate him and then they will remove him. That is what they want. But I want you guys to understand something. You are not a ZANU-PF member. Maybe you are, but we are not ZANU-PF members. So whatever is happening in ZANU-PF is their business. We need to work on our side. And we're currently working on M31 Zimbabwe. I'm going to give you guys an update on Friday. Very important update on how I'm going to proceed as the candidate of currently. That's what I'm saying. Currently, I'm the candidate, and we're open to other people coming in to work with us. We cannot do anything in Zimbabwe without taking political power. So if you don't have political power, you can go on the street and run. You can shout and scream. You can say Mnangagwa this, Mnangagwa that. Without political power, you can't do anything. So to change our country, we need a strong, organized opposition, and that needs funding. When I'm talking about funding, I'm talking about offices, structures, organizers, people that are available to actually do the groundwork. President Hakainde Hichilema was very organized. That's why he won the election. If you went to Botswana, they were very organized. That's why their coalition won the election. So you can't win an election just sitting there. It has to be an organized opposition, because a new government needs to be organized. You can't have a government that is just unprepared. And we've got a clear plan. We want Zimbabwe to look modern and to do what? The Gambakwe campaign, Gambakwe 2028, is going to transform our country. And we're going to do so well. Zimbabwe is ready for a change, but that needs support. So we need people to understand. If you are capable of supporting, we need people to support our campaigns so that the opposition can win. Tagwirei has got billions and billions, and you want people to go out with YouTube money. So do you think we can go up against Tagwirei with the little monies we make from our jobs? So we cannot do that. We need people to support the opposition, and the opposition must be on the ground. It must be able to move around, and that needs money. So support us, and we want to go to parliament. We want to take over the parliament of Zimbabwe. We want to take over the Senate. We want to take over the councils, and then we'll implement all the things that we're talking about. Zimbabwe is ready for a new leader. All right, I'd like to thank all of you for watching. It's been great. I'll see you guys a little bit later, and a good day to you all.